Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. Oh, I love you. Oh,
Love you too, my sis. What's going on? How are you?
good. How are you?
Amazing. Even though, been on adventures for the last 24 hours.
The fact that you called that an adventure. If you
That's
guys
what you
don't
gotta
know,
call it. Life is an
Femi's
adventure.
been driving for forever, got home, slept for a little bit, and now is live in action. And I think
Oh.
that's one of those things where very few people will do it, and the blessings that come from doing that stuff when it's necessary, not an every time thing, but like when it's necessary to get the job done, to do the thing.
Mhm.
I think those people end up being blessed with some random occurrence, some amazing conversation, something, because the willingness to do something like that is
Mhm.
few and far between.
There's a
Yeah.
confidence you get blessed with when you do stuff like that, like in your mind. So you're like,
Mm.
oh, I do the hard things. Like I show up when it's hard, no matter what. And it's like I don't know, you push your capacity, right? Like your limits. Yeah, you get this like confidence from that. That's one of the blessings you get is the confidence.
It's
For
like your
sure.
capacity has increased simply from doing that.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, you
Hmm.
get like it's like that. I do what I say no matter what, right? Because like success doesn't care about your problems. Like success doesn't care that you're tired. Success doesn't care, right? Like success only cares that you show up. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's funny. I just posted a reel that um I was talking about that. Like discipline doesn't care if you're tired. Discipline doesn't care if it's snowing, if it's raining, if things are going left. It doesn't care. So 100%. I literally just posted that on my story.
I
Real
love it.
life.
I love it. I
It's
love
true, girl.
it.
Yeah, it's real life. I love it. I love it. How's your week been that you've been learning?
Lots of stuff. I had a very you learn things and then you get tested, right?
Facts.
Like I've been
Lots of stuff.
tested a whole week.
No. Yeah, when you make those decisions,
Lifting those spiritual and mental weights this week.
That's good. You put the
100%.
reps in.
Yeah.
Yes, get the reps in.
Like this is a
Yeah.
rep for Femi. This is a rep. Your whole week was a rep for you. Like I'm sure there's things spiritually, physically, mentally that I did reps this week, and I think all of us collectively just simply being here. That's a rep. Like
No, for real.
being able to do that in the midst of your entire life, all of the things, putting the reps in is actually the work. Um,
100%.
I don't know about you guys, but have you guys both been, I know we've kind of sort of been studying this, like
Hmm.
it's more so just been like collectively everybody's been reading it or kind of
Yeah,
taking information. Um,
it has.
and I think it's been quite top of mind, I would say, for pretty much everybody. And there's one thing that I definitely want to do today as like an exercise, but we'll get into it. So, what I do want to hear first though is I know Femi, you were out, is it New York or North Carolina
North Carolina,
up,
Charlotte.
up
Yeah.
in an event? Um, Tell us like kind of some of the things that you learned, observed. I know you were around a lot of high-level individuals, very successful entrepreneurs, just in masterminds and conversations and things like that. So, if there was one thing that you took away from this experience, this event, definitely, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, there's so much. There was there was so much per usual.
Huge.
But definitely got more insight as a leader at a high level, building massive organizations and people and things of that nature. Um, Learned a little bit about everything. I really was observant. Because I love to go to events and like, how do you guys do this? You know what I mean? Like, how do you pour into the average individual walking into a room with this type of energy? You know what I mean? Like, what 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 are the ways that, that you tailor to, or that, you give value to? Because a lot of people will come in rooms like that and unfortunately think that they don't belong, or
Mm,
don't think, like, well, this doesn't really pertain to me because I don't have money yet, which is, complete bogus. But, it's what the average mind is thinking, and I really got to see how they interact with, just the average person, that is trying to figure out. So the event was thrown in a social place where you normally come and you could sit down, prop up your laptop, there's a bar, there's games, and it's very public. So you can tell like everybody's like looking on the other side, like, what are they doing in that? Why are there so many people? Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh wow, like you know, it's a Thursday or Friday, and like, yeah, we're in the same environment as you know what I mean? Like, because there was waitresses coming in at the event, seeing if anybody wanted anything, but they can tell like there's a difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm on the other side, I'm at the bar, I'm here, I got my laptop open, but there's like, you know what I mean? So everybody just seeing that, like how they is. I'm one of the leaders out there. His name is Mr. Banks, and he's been in this industry quite for some time. Um, and came back and just seeing how him and his team, and also two other leaders and other people go, and the conversation with other people as I was observing was to show them that my interest is your passion. It's not about,
mm, that's cool.
yeah. And I was just like, I like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's something that stuck out to me as a leader, because I want most of my business and most of everything that I do. It doesn't matter if it's business, spiritual, friendship, platonic, whatever. Like, I want all of it to be relational building. I don't want our conversation just to be a conversation, you know, just to benefit me. You know what I mean? Everything that I partake in needs to be in the benefit of those who partake in it.
Wow.
And just, it was really good. And just really seeing that, well, the thing was, like, pursue yourself. Like, pursue yourself and be immune to flattery, be immune to the hype, be immune to what people may come to you as. Because, like, I'm not gonna lie, everybody in there was like chilling, it was really casual. Some people were dressed up, some people were not, you know what I mean? Some people were dressed how to be addressed, but like the speakers, like, these are like average people, kicks, jeans, a hat. And it's like most people would be like, well, I don't really need to listen to what you have to say. But it's just like, when you're not focused on, what someone looks like and what that is, and it's like, yo, like, you can really relate to people and just be there. You know what I mean? And I also too learned that some people are environmentally disabled.
Mm,
And
how so?
yeah, huh?
How so?
Yeah. So most people think that, being disabled is a mental thing, right? But you can be environmentally disabled, where when you're in the right environment, you can't even catch it, because
Ooh,
you're not, you don't know what to do with this energy. You don't know what to do with people pouring into you. You don't know what that looks like. You know what I mean? Like, your past, your trauma, what you're used to, what you see. It's like, you don't know how to carry
navigate that.
yourself in this. You know what I mean? Like, people are giving you value, people are pouring into you, and it's just going over your head,
Wow.
you know? And I was like, that is so good. And this is just from observing, being part of the event and
Hmm.
listening to a conversation. And I thought great, that was a great statement, because I never thought about that. Like that's a real thing. And then it goes back again. Like that's why people don't understand that their environment's more important than their DNA. That's why most people are not willing to let go the people that they're around, the household they grew up in, the partners that they have, because they're environmentally disabled. When you're disabled, when you don't know how to do something, you know, it's unconsciously incompetent to you. Like you
Hmm.
don't know, you don't see it. So it comes you mistreat it, you don't see the value. And understanding that that is where the average person is. How do you carry yourself? Who are you in that situation? Are you carrying grace? Are you extending the ability to teach, even though, you feel like the seed might not be planted, but do you do it anyways? You know what I mean? And it's like to see people at a high end make what people make in a year, in a month, in a week, to be moving like this, and to just have conversations like this, and it's good. You know what I mean? So those are a few things that personally to me that stuck to me, and I took notes on and I made a decision to apply to me,
Mm.
immediately into my leadership and how I move as a person outside of business, in business, as a mom, at everything, you know what I mean? Because it goes hand in hand with everything. Because think about it, if you're at work and you're, you know, associating with another employee, they might not be able to receive anything that you give because they're environmentally disabled.
Yep.
All they know is like, I need to work, I need to pay these bills. Anything else you're saying to me right now?
Mm.
And it's like, sheesh. And that's why it is, it's important for you as a person to constantly be growing because your growth and the lessons and the things you go through help other people. Sometimes you're the only personal development that someone will ever open.
Wow.
They may never open a book. They may never go to a seminar. They may never listen to audio. But when they come to you, when they have a conversation with you, when God happens to cross people with you to have a moment with you,
Mm.
you're their personal development. You're that seed. That's why I love going to events. Be in the rooms, you guys. Be in the rooms. It expands your mind every time. Listening
Easily.
to the same thing, being around people that don't think like you, that don't move like you, like it's real. Be in the rooms. I don't care if you do what you got to do, be in the rooms.
What's
And
one
that's why
challenge? What's because I know everything comes with a challenge. So what was your challenge to be able to get to this event, to do this? Like, what did you have to overcome in order to get there?
I had to overcome my own ego and I had to overcome the, because I know everything works in my favor, I
Mm.
had to overcome the anxious anticipation for it to work in my favor.
Wow.
I had to just be. I had to be present. And that's why I wasn't even in my chats or anything. Like I'm in a full blown in the middle of games and for those that don't know, it's something that we do with our business. Like I'm in a bunch of chats, like there's a lot going on, but I decided, I need to be present.
Mm.
I need to be present. I need to be here. And doing that helped me over. There was so much stuff that happened. Our tire almost blew. The rental car gave us a crappy car. We had to deal with it. I was already too far to come back to Florida. So we had to stop. We had to keep stopping, putting air in the tire. And then on the way back, the tire completely was just like, and thank God that, one of my partners that I was with was there and he caught it. He was like, "Yo, I think we should just pop the spare right now because it's things about to pop." Like the whole rim, like the tire looked horrible, but like God was watching over us the whole time. But it was just like in the midst of that, like trying to get places, gotta stop for a tire. Like trying to get back on time so the place don't charge us extra late fees, even though we're late because of them. Like we ended up turning it in today because, I'm bro, like don't stress about things that you can't control. I cannot control this tire. I cannot control this car. I can't snap my fingers and get another rental. I can't, so listen, you know what I mean? So I had to like just overcome the aspect of like my own ego for real, like wanting to be like all the people that were wrong in this situation, like you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Like you put us in this scenario, this scenario. It was just, you know what? I'm grateful.
Just like, well, it's gonna be done.
I'm grateful. I made it to the event. I made it back home. I got to impact who I needed to impact. I got to be impacted. I got to hear the conversations I needed to hear, all because I made that decision and God moved everything out the way. Even in the midst of everything, it was like, can you still keep a positive mental attitude in the midst
Mm.
of everything going left? And on top of that, too, I had no debit cards out there. So your girl was on decentralization and telling people like, yo, like, I'll send you crypto.
You're on that DeFi stuff. You're like, all right, I got this.
Your girl is decentralized.
That is incredible right there because the way to like think about if you didn't have that skill set. What would you do? This is why DeFi guys, and I don't know if you guys are all in that space or not, but like you solved problems based on an information gap you solved a few years ago. And these
Mm.
like the information gap.
Yeah.
We have to solve these information gaps in many different areas. And props to you for being able to figure it out. Because like everybody else would have folded under that. They would have literally not had another option because in their world they don't have another option.
Yeah.
DeFi creates so much options. So many options.
Yep. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, girl was like, yo, I'm in a whole different state. I need to eat. I need to put gas in this car. I need to put air in this tire. I need to show up. Like, and it's like, why take that time and be present and like, because if you focus on your problems, you guys, your problems grow. You're
Mm,
too busy focusing on things that do not work. You don't have time for focus on things that do work right now. Your lungs work, your mind work, and your body works. Let's focus on that. What can that do? A lot. A working mind, a sound mind can do a lot. A personally developed mind can do a lot. Let's focus on what we can do and where we're going. Because imagine if I was just talking to everybody, oh my gosh, yeah, nobody even knew. You guys are the first people I'm telling. Like,
it's like after
I
this whole thing, yeah. Then we get to
yeah, like who? I'm not gonna talk about my problems. For what? For what? So they can multiply and come back in my life? No, thank you. I choose positive mental attitude and everything works in my favor, even when it doesn't look like it's working.
I
It's
think I think that lesson that you just shared with us is so powerful. You didn't speak about it during it. You told us the lesson in hindsight, all of the things that you just gathered from that. But I think
Mhm.
what you like, I don't know if it was fair, if it was caught, but just catch this, guys. Like, didn't speak about this stuff while it was happening
At all
to
to
anybody,
nobody.
to nobody. But in the midst of having the faith to be able to do that, learned the lessons, got the insight, and then is able to teach that concept, not only to us, but to everybody else around you, so that when you're around people now in coming scenarios, you have experience-based knowledge. And if there's anything that I could like wish that people would understand is experience weighs tons. Knowledge
Mm,
weighs ounces, but experience weighs tons.
that's so good.
And man, that was so good, Femi. And it what I wanted to say was you yourself have created an identity that things always work out.
Amen.
Like I've never met somebody who has that belief so strong, and I've learned from you on that belief that everything works in my favor. Miracles are right around the corner. Like
We get
blessings
them,
are
we
coming.
expect
Like
them.
the things that you say on a constant basis inspire me, but also I know they always work out. Like it literally, I'm like, this is your internal belief. And I think you mentioned at the beginning, um, something in that we were talking about in this book, where it was like we won't do what our mental image, um,
Mm,
something along the self-image, like we won't do.
mhm.
uh, Man, I'm gonna butcher it, but it'll
It's
come
all
to me,
good,
guys.
sis.
Um,
Ew.
Yeah, I'll put that on pause, but it'll come to me. But the self-image that you've created for yourself, the beliefs that you have created for yourself, I know have taken a lot of work, diligence, and practice. And it is like our responsibility now with this information to build those beliefs for ourselves.
Hmm.
Um, so if you guys are just hopping on, Phemy was explaining just like scenarios that happened this week, going to events, catching some mindset from individuals that are at an incredible level in business, as well as just some of the challenges that she overcame within um,
Yeah.
being able to experience those things. But also, we were talking about this book, Psycho-Cybernetics.
Let's go.
Let's go. So if you guys haven't gotten that book, it also is on Spotify, just as like an audiobook. So if you guys don't want to buy a book, which I mean, I would if I were you, but just so you can write in it and study.
Hmm.
Um, but you can listen to the information. Eugene's got it.
Let's go.
Um, you can listen to the information right on Spotify. So,
Hmm. Facts. You can. And it's powerful. And I love that. I missed the Monday call. I know they were doing
mhm.
chapter 4. Um, but like I really like just the aspect like that, how it keeps talking about you can change the concept of yourself, you guys. But remember, in order to change the concept of yourself, like you have to actually understand how do you work,
Mm,
like, how do you work best, and it's not under pressure when things happen, like no, like genuinely, like do you know how your mind works? Do you know your automatic responses to different situations? Because in knowing so you can build the new concept of yourself and excuse me, and you can shift your responses to situations to always be positive feedback. Because in this books, it talks about how the machine in you, right? Your guidance system in you, it either can give you positive feedback or negative feedback. And the more you know how you work, how you respond, and the things you need to work on, whatever that may be, that deep shadow work for real, it's also a benefit to help you build the new concept of yourself. Because right now we're all in a season where we're building a new version of us.
mm,
Right now in this season, literally. This is the last month of quarter 1, and who you are in quarter 1 is not the person you're about to be in quarter 2. I guarantee it, right? But you just keeping up with that concept and understanding, like, okay, cool, like, how do I respond to this? And when this comes on my plate, like, what does it look like? Who am I? How am I speaking? What am I doing? Because then you'll really be able to build the self-image that you actually want. And it's not like the problems won't be there, guys. Like that junk will forever be there. Like it never goes away.
mm,
But can you learn how to, and you said it earlier, the solving problem, being solution based. Like, are you a problem solver, or are you the type of person that just avoids problem solving? You kind of look for mediation. You kind of look for someone else to solve the problem or someone else to give you the answer. Like you got to be like aware of this. And I love the fact that it's always telling you you can change your self-image. You don't have to be the same. You know what I mean? But understanding that is like, there's this one part of the book when it's talking about like the infinite sources of you, of your self-image, the ideas, the knowledge, the power. And it's like you have everything you need. You just need to know how to work everything that you have.
oof.
Yeah.
You have all the keys inside of you.
Just learn what keys open what door. But
Wow.
you have to be patient with who you're becoming. You've never been this person before. So why are you throwing a fit? Why are you upset? Like why why you are always ready to say, why me? No, why not you? You have to be patient. You've never been this version of you before. You made this decision. You're becoming this person, amazing, phenomenal. You have to make that decision every day.
Mm,
Every
that's
day.
so good. I want to
Mhm.
touch on some of the things that we went over on Monday's call, and I'm going to do an exercise with you guys. So if you guys have a piece of paper or a pen, well, paper
Ready?
and pen, um, or notes on your phone. Definitely paper and pen's better, but
That's
if you have any way to take some notes, I think this is going to be. It was really valuable for me, so I hope it's just as valuable for you guys. And the question that you guys are going to ask yourself, first of all, I'm going to ask you one question and then we're going to go into the exercise. But how many of you guys have ever done hypnosis? Like, have ever been in a hypnosis session or heard about, like, have actually done a hypnosis session? You guys can put it in the chat if you have or have not. Um, the real thing is we've all been hypnotized with our beliefs. The beliefs that
mm,
you choose to hold on to right now are the ones that you have been hypnotized with. So we actually have all been hypnotized. Our job is to then hypnotize ourselves in the right way. And we do that by asking good questions.
that's good.
And I'm not going to get into like all of what hypnosis is. I have several friends. I've done a hypnosis a few sessions and it is wild. It's absolutely crazy, but it's not what you think. And I used to think it was this whole weird nonsense.
Well, Jumbo.
Yeah, and what they really do is talk to the subconscious mind. They get past your conscious
Mm,
mind and they talk to your subconscious mind. And if you guys have been in these conversations, you know that that's a real thing of our
very real.
subconscious mind. Um, so we have all been hypnotized with the beliefs that we choose to hold on to and the beliefs that other people have put inside of us. And
Mm,
so this exercise will allow you guys to notice what some of your beliefs currently are, and then we'll go and we'll rewrite those beliefs so that we can hypnotize ourselves in the correct way. And so the question I want you guys to write down is, what are 5 statements that you tell yourself often? And it can be as simple as, I'm always late, or I'm never on time, or why does this always
mm,
happen to me? These kind of things that we hold as a belief about ourselves. I'm not good with money, or I'm terrible at
mm,
managing this, or something along the lines of like, what are the current beliefs that are not serving you? And write 5 of those down. And I think we can take about 5 minutes to do that. So if you guys have pen or paper, whenever you're writing your 5 statements, and you might get 3. When I first did it, I only got like 3 at the beginning, and I had to like sit there and really find the other 2. Um, so if you're like, I'm done, just put a 1 in the chat. But we'll give ourselves like 5 minutes, and then we'll go through. You obviously don't have to share them with anybody, but these are just for you. Um, and then we'll move to the next step.
mm.
Think about something that you always say is hard. I have some friends that their current language is, well, working out is hard, or this is hard. I'm like, is it? Like these are the beliefs that we say about these things. Our taxes really hard to do. Our like there's so many different things we hypnotize ourselves with. So these are
Yeah.
this question. What are the 5 statements you tell yourself often? And then if you guys are done, just make sure to put a 1 in the chat, or you can write done. Either one works.
Yeah, this definitely makes you think.
It makes you think hard or not hard. It depends on how you think about it. I
Exactly.
just tell
But
myself.
regardless, it makes you think. You are in the realm.
Looking like Eugene's done. Um, I'm gonna. How do you say your name? Araya? Is it Araya? I think that's
Aria?
Aria. Okay, Aria's done. Yay. Awesome. As you guys finish and wrap up those, and if you only got two or three, it's all good. You can search for those other ones
Mm-hmm.
as you go throughout your day. They might just come up as you think. But now what I want you to do is right next to your statements, put the letter M or O. M stands for my belief. O stands for other person's belief.
Mm.
You get to sit there and think about where those beliefs actually came from. Did they come from you or did they come from somebody else? And when I did this exercise, I realized that two of the beliefs that I had came from somebody else. And I was like,
Mm.
it was so evident after I wrote it down, thought about it, and I was like, wow, these aren't even my own beliefs, and they've been controlling the way that I've been operating. Um,
That is so good.
so sit there and think about if they are no worries at all, not to taking care of the babies. If you just hopped back in, currently everybody is writing down 5 statements of things that you tell yourself as a belief. So, what are 5 statements that you tell yourself often, um, in a way that isn't serving you anymore? So, this could be something like, man, I'm tired of being late, or why am I always late, or why this, or why am I bad with money, or just something along the lines of a belief that you currently catch yourself saying over and over and over, that isn't serving you anymore. And then they're currently going through their belief statements and writing the letter M or the letter O next to those belief statements for my belief, which would be the letter M, and other person's belief, which would be somebody else's belief that you have now created as a belief of your own. Awesome. And these are just for you, so don't feel like you have to share them with anybody or anything. This is just an exercise for you guys. So try to be as honest as you can be.
Mhm. This is good. This is a whole activity at an event. Get people uncomfortable. And they're gonna be like,
Man, you can do this at an event, the next event you throw.
yeah. I was just like, yep, way to get people out their comfort zones. That's me. Mhm. Yeah, that's good too.
Cool. So now that you guys have identified a few beliefs that you have for yourself, maybe even where they've come from, whether it's from you or from somebody else, our next job is to rewrite and hypnotize ourselves into the positive belief. So whatever that statement is, we need to change it, swap it with the correct version. Correct in the sense of what now would serve you, what belief would serve you in that moment. So if it was something along the lines of money, it's like, man, I'm always bad with money or the cash flow or something. And it's like, I'm an excellent steward of money.
Hmm.
And I get, the more money I get, the better I get with being able to handle it. Or something along the lines of, if it's something that you've been in lack with, now you're in abundance with it. Um,
Hmm.
One belief from myself was that and this was like an actual belief that I've always had, was I could never get abs. And my belief was totally irrelevant because I've never A, one, trained for abs, B, never had a proper plan, and never actually really thought about it. I've just always thought about, oh, I can never get it because I've been an athlete and I didn't have them then, so therefore I can't have them now. And I was like, this is
Hmm.
some stupid belief that it was actually not even my own belief, it was somebody else. And I realized that this was somebody else's belief that I now believed. And I was like, I have the proper nutrition, I have the proper plan. I know that if I get to this specific body weight, that my abs will show up. And so therefore the belief was just completely shattered from science. And
Hmm.
actually learning how muscle works and learning how macros and nutrition and all of these things work. And now I
Yeah.
have the belief. And so when I go and work out, I work out in a way that I'm actually like, in 6 months, I'll have this because I know
Hmm.
that if I just follow the plan, I will have said thing. Um, and I've had that belief since all throughout college, all throughout playing was because I didn't have them while I was playing in my peak performance that I would never have them. And I'm like, that's
Yeah.
dumb. But I had to catch myself and realize
Mhm.
that this was somebody else's belief, not my own.
That's just so good. That's yeah, that's lit. One of mine, one of my and it ended up being like my own belief. Because I've always just, that was always just the justification to no longer think about it and just throw it under the rug. Okay, I can't do that right now.
Mm,
I'm not qualified right now. I can't do it yet, you know. Um, and then alongside that was, yeah, like I will. Like down the line, I'll get to that. And it's funny because both of those, one is mine and one is other people's beliefs.
well,
And it's like, how interesting. Because it's just like that, when people are not necessarily like encouraging you, but they're not saying anything directly to discourage you. But it's like, don't worry, like you'll get it. Yeah, yeah,
mhm.
like eventually you'll do it. And it's like
Mm,
always hearing that. And I'm like,
eventually.
yeah, like I will do it. Yeah. And it's just like, no, like, are you going to do it? Are you deciding or not? You know what I mean? Obviously now
Yeah.
with the still reprogramming of everything. But I was just like, wow, like I really did used to say that.
Wow.
I- Anytime something happened, or if I'm at an event and there's a mastermind or something that I want to be a part of, and it's always like, oh, I can't do that right now.
Mm,
And it's like really believing that. It's like, oh, well, I'm being realistic. Look at my current situation. Look at my bank account. I really can't. And it's just like, but that is the belief that I adopted. You know what I'm saying? For myself. And it's like, you can do whatever you want. You just have to want it and believe that you have to believe that you'll get it, though. moment you make the decision. I think that's why some people don't want to decide. They're afraid of deciding because they're not sure if they're either deserving or if they'll even get it.
I think I was talking about this with Eugene last week. The I This really challenged a belief that I had was you have to deserve to earn money or like deserve to be worthy of money. Like that's always
Mm.
been one of my things. Um, and I watched this soon to be billionaire woman talk about money, and somebody asked her like, "Do you struggle with self-worth like when it comes to this stuff?" And she was like, "Never really thought about it that way," but she's like, I don't really feel like I deserve it. And he's like, but you have so much of it. She's like, I don't think deserving and knowing how to get it go hand in hand. And I was like,
Mm.
she's like, there are people that do dumb stuff and illegal stuff, and they still have money. She's like,
Oh, for
deserving,
real.
deserving does not equal money. And I was like,
Oh my
now
gosh.
use that in an appropriate way.
That is good.
It doesn't, they're not equal. And I was like, wow, it was really helpful. I was like, we don't actually have to feel like we deserve anything. You just have to take the correct action to get the
Mm.
outcome. And I was like, so then the question is now, what is the correct action? Do said correct action, get results. And I was like, wow. Um, but it was cool to hear from somebody who's earned multiple hundreds of millions of dollars. And I was like, she didn't even feel like she's deserving of it. So why do I feel like I have to deserve it? I don't.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's really good.
One
Yeah, Eugene.
one of one of my beliefs, and I was watching, I love the Karate Kid,
Hmm.
and I was watching the Cobra Kai, which is based off of, which is like kind of like a series based off the movie, and like the final few episodes, and especially the last one, like I really connected with Johnny Lawrence's character in this show. You watch it, and he has this belief that he's a loser because of, you remember from the Karate Kid, like he loses the All Valley Championship, and this series like kind of continues on after that, and he loses that, and he thinks of himself as a loser. Like he goes through like, so like a large part of his adult life like being this degenerate, right?
Hmm.
And that final episode, I watched it yesterday. It actually made me cry, like because I was like, man, like you've been telling yourself that your whole entire adult life.
Wow.
Because I had the same experience. Like I lost. I played on our rugby team. We were undefeated 2 seasons, and I lost. We lost the final championship game in my grade 12 year, and and I didn't go to like my whole high school. Like I like strived to get good grades so that I could go to college, and I didn't go to college. Like
Hmm.
I ended up in the oil field, right? You know, like calling yourself that, and it's like I realized like no, like you're a winner. Like just because you didn't do those things doesn't like going back to Psycho-Cybernetics, like doesn't mean that you're a no, like I'm a winner. Like I said, thinking about all of the things that I've done in my life, like and how I do something for a job that very few people can do. Like most people come out to a rig and they quit in the first week. They can't take it, they can't handle it. And so you've been doing it for like 20 years. You know, I started thinking about like, my ex and I, and like there was a time when like we had a successful relationship, and like, you are a winner. You have like two beautiful kids.
Hmm.
Like I started a business from scratch. Like didn't know what I was doing, and I was making enough money in like 4 months to support my family. Like you're thinking all like you are a winner.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And it's like a winner wins on a muddy field, and a loser doesn't know how to play in the best of conditions.
Hmm. Say that. Say that. That's really good. Knowing the conditions. Yeah, once you know how what conditions to play in, you can always play. That's good. That's really good.
But it's that self-image that you were talking about, Eugene. Like it because of the things that the external doesn't dictate the internal. And we get to
Yeah.
choose what the internal conversation is, and we get to decide what
Hmm.
success is. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And my friend, you have a worthy ideal. I know it.
That's amazing. Definitely. Thanks for sharing that. And yeah, this exercise was really good.
Good. I'm glad you guys got something from it. Um,
Hmm.
and yeah, I think psycho-cybernetics, man, it's just been a topic of conversation for many different groups of communities that I've been a part of, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
wow, it's I don't know if it's collectively as a whole, everybody's like, this is what we need to be studying right now. But I
Yeah.
really think the self-image conversation, because I've noticed it in Phemy, I've noticed it in Eugene, I've noticed it in people that I've actually been in conversation with on a consistent basis. Like they're literally taking new actions based from the new self-identity that they have decided that
Yeah.
what they're doing. And it is a really cool process to watch and get a front row seat into people's lives, which is why I love being able to do these calls, be
Hmm.
able to be doing these calls with people that consistently show up and consistently bring value to the group and bring their vulnerabilities, bring their conversations, bring their ideas. Like it does something for not just me, but for everybody on a level, like on a human level.
Hmm.
And so I think it's the piece that of the puzzle that a lot of people online miss. Um,
100%.
and
And
so
I think it's not just, on the physical level, like in all aspects. Because
mm,
there's keys and there's certain things that you get that you can apply, you know what I mean? Like emotionally, spiritually, even, in your relationships with people, with your kids. Like, yeah, real powerful. I love it. I'm so grateful that we just took action on this idea. It's literally just a conversation. It's marvelous.
marvelous idea, wonderful conversation.
Mhm. No,
Um,
for sure.
that was really all I had planned was that exercise because I feel like it was pretty like I wouldn't say heavy. It was pretty like substantial
Mhm.
when I did it, and I was like, dang, that was like all I needed to do was that and realize, catch my beliefs. I did. We did have the conversation about for the next 24 hours doing a challenge. So if you guys are down for a challenge, I love me some good challenges, but the challenge was to catch yourself thinking negative thoughts and verbally out loud saying, not in my reality or
Mm.
stop, not in my world. Um, and I
Mhm.
noticed myself, like, I would do that stuff like in my head, but doing it out loud,
Out loud.
never something like that I really ever, I just hadn't practiced. And I was
Hmm.
driving the other day and I caught myself and I was like, immediate bad thought, caught it, said not in my reality. And I looked at myself and I was like, oh my God, I actually said that out loud. Like it was this conscious thought pattern. And it was so helpful because I didn't think about it at all after that. And so
Hmm.
24 hours, catch yourself, not in my reality,
Amen.
and then rewrite the picture that you actually want to see
Hmm.
and
I love that.
pre-play the correct images. So if you catch yourself with a negative image, pre-play the correct image. Um, and you'll do it for 24 hours and then you'll just do it as a habit because you'll realize that it's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah,
Such a
becomes part of your
powerful point.
conversation.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, today was really good. I'm grateful for it.
super
Needed this
powerful.
exercise. That was definitely powerful. I'm excited to pass this on,
Pass it on.
and blow minds. Yeah. Shift paradigms. Love to do that. Love to do that.
Being aware of things, I think, if anything, that's the point of these is we get the awareness from somebody else. We bring the awareness, and the awareness can just keep going.
And
Um,
pass it on. Facts. Amen.
it and
I
pass it
love
on.
that.
Um,
Definitely. I'm grateful for it. Grateful for you, sis. Always showing up, always doing your thing, even everything that you do in the background that nobody sees. Grateful for it, for real. And you guys take one thing if you're rewatching this, thank you for all the people that were on here live. Get one or two things and apply it. You have 48 hours before it completely just disappears from your mind, and share this with someone that may need this value because, like she just said, passing on the awareness, like, because we got it from our experiences, our life, other people, books, the whole nine, and it's us passing it on this call. I'm grateful for you. Enjoy your Saturday, you guys. Be intentional. I gotta get ready for a call and I gotta make lunch for these kids.
get them kids fed. Much love.
Bye.
See you guys next week. Make sure to invite somebody on next week and like and
Yeah.
subscribe both Phemy and I's channels.
Facts.